Texans fans, man? We back, man, again, season 2. Guess what? It's your boy, Blastoff. He's back. He's back. He's back. He's back. We doing it again, man. Glad to be here. Season 2. We are kicked off. Real Texans Talk, man. It's been a long time coming, man. I'm proud of myself, guys. I'm proud of myself. Thank you. Man, what a year. What a year it's been, man. It's been a while since we last chopped it up. It was last season. I think that the Eagles had took it all. The Eagles had took it home, man. And the Texans, man, made some major changes following that season, man. Some necessary changes. Some changes that were questionable, but in the grand scheme of things, it's for the greater good of the team. And we'll get into that here as the show progresses, man. I'm just here, blessed and glad to be back with you guys, man. It's been bittersweet, man, to get into this situation to where I'm able to share my love for the team, man. It's been a lot going on. It's a lot of new content. It's a lot of new, accessories that we're going to, implement into the show. We're going to be able to take calls now. We're going to love to do that. Want guys to call in. We're going to dedicate a day to a time in the show segment to have whoever wants to tap in with your boy, man, and let's chop up some real things about this team, about the league itself in general. Anything, man. Let's get it going, man, because this is the Real Texans Talk, man. And again, I am your host, Darryl Blastoff, and again, man, if you guys can follow me, it's as you can see on scrolling on the bottom of the screen at Blastoff ENT, at Blastoff_ENT on Twitter. And all of these things, YouTube, all of those things. I'll have a QR code that I'm going to put up, but you can just tap that with your phone, man. It'll take you right to where you need to be. But anyway, getting into it, man. Hey, how y'all guys doing, man? What y'all think about the season? How you think that everything's going so far? I mean, are you loving the moves we made since we last spoke? The Texans have, added some new additions to the family, man. We got the squad of Jalen's and Jaden's, man. Jalen Knowles, Jaden Higgins, and Jalen Mills we just signed to replace CD, I believe, since CD, CJ Gardner-Johnson. Hey, he wasn't on the team last year. Nice signings, man. Nick Chubbs. These guys are serious about winning now. And you can see it starting to take shape with the competition and the things that D'Amico and Nick Caserio and Nick Cayley are starting to implement. This is like a no BS team, man. The competition is ripe with this team now. I can't remember a time where I could ever say that I've seen this much competition with the team. That it's so hard if you look from position battles between the wide receivers to the running backs, the offensive line. We're learning, if you're paying attention to the team, they're not jacking around with these guys. It don't matter where you were drafted, what round you were drafted. You could be replaced at your position by a 6th rounder if you're not showing up in these preseason games and these practices. They're gonna put you to the side, and we'll get into all of that tonight. And get into the things that's been going on with the team, man. A lot of things been going on with the team, good and bad. Some notable injuries here in the past few weeks. None more seem to be controversial than this recent Brevin Jordan injury that just occurred, a day or two ago. And we'll get into that too as well, man, because it's just a lot of passion in this team. across the board between media members, fans, and I love this engagement. This is what the new world is. We are able to engage with these guys, back and forth, bounce ideas, bounce opinions, and it's all love. It's just the passion that runs deep within this team, and that's the making of a family. You got the good and the bad. You got to take it, and I'm just excited, man, to see what's going on this new season. And again, man, it's going to be the same things as last year plus more. We're still going to be giving away games. I gave away 2 games last year, and we're going to try to keep it up and do the same thing again this year, man. A lot of new content to share with you guys. Some surprises, man, that I like to share with you guys. Some funny things that happened to me, and the team has been very, very what's the word I want to use? Very, you know, they've been very accessible for the fans, and I've been able to say I was blessed to participate in some activities with the team and have opportunities at some prizes and things like that. And I love what the team is doing. I love how Cal and Hannah and the guys that over there running the show have totally revamped their image, man. Who remember the long days are gone when people were holding up signs for Cal to sell the team and yada, yada, yada. No, no, no. Don't sell the team, bro. You've revamped your image. You revamped the team's image, and they're building a winner over there on Kirby Drive. They're building a winner, and the you can smell it in the air, man. The competition is right. But it's been a lot of changes that have happened since we last spoke. A lot of guys, some significant departures on the team, starting with none other than Laramie Tunsil. Yes, Laramie Tunsil is gone, guys. He, went on over to the Washington Commanders. Yep, Laramie Tunsil went over to the Washington Commanders, and we were able to draft. So far so good if you think about the draft with Ariante Ursery coming in because they traded out of the first round. But we were able to get Ariante Ursery. And if you guys don't know who that guy is, he played in Minnesota. He was a Gopher. And I had some interesting stats on that young man coming out of college. The guy had 779 snaps he played, if my information serves me correct. And he only gave up 3 sacks. That is phenomenal. And the guy is a monstrosity of a man. A monstrosity of a man. I was able to see him in person, man, at those training camps, and he does well. And I even tweeted out a while ago, I was watching this guy to see how he practices and how he was taking, adjusting to, grown men's league. And he held his own on every occasion I could see. And so seems like his college game is transitioning well into the NFL. And so going down the line further into camp, it's been the same consistent reports out there on this guy. And we even had a good preseason game here, man. So he seems like the real deal. Texans drafted Jalen Noel out of Iowa. Jaden Higgins out of Iowa, both 1,000-yard receivers last year. And I'm gonna say this off the bat. Watching that last preseason game, Jalen Noel, both of them, look like they're gonna be studs. But I've seen evidence already to assure me that, you can see it in these guys. And Jalen Noel is a gym rat. He's solid. I want to say, to be honest with you, this, first of all, this competition that we have on this team is crazy. This is true top level competition. It's not where the top guys are separating themselves from the guys that are new to the team. This is competition, man. This is going to be one of the hardest cuts that they're going to have to make at the end of the preseason. And I, for one, pray that they make the right decisions because this is they got guys that can start on other teams locked in on position battles, man. I mean, the competition, we got Braxton Berrios here now from Miami, and that guy looked it great, uh, throughout camp and in the preseason game. He scored a tutty. And he's got some quick shiftiness, speed, burst, and I was like, wow, I like that guy there. Uh, touching on, Jaden Higgins, the guy that's, comparable to Nico. He's Nico's, archetype, basically. We got two guys, the same 6'4", 6'5" guys that, run, similar 40 times, and this guy looks like another stud. He had plenty of highlights in training camp and whatever, and had some good catches here this past weekend, Saturday, against the Minnesota Vikings in the preseason game. You know, I just think that we on the right trajectory. We on the right trajectory. We got the offensive line is seemingly starting to come together. They felt like Laramie Tunsil, although he was an elite left tackle, I think that they felt like his contract could be, expendable. His leadership could be expendable. They felt like he wasn't a strong enough leader. The words coming out of through the media last year and whatnot is that he was not a team first guy. He wasn't taking a leadership role on seriously. More of a just a, hey, I'm gonna do my job and get paid and get up out of here on the daily. He wasn't a practice work warrior. And he had in the beginning of the season. I'm not gonna knock him towards the end of the season, but at the beginning of the season, Laramie was a penalty machine, and we're not gonna bash him again yet because he's still one of the top linemen in the NFL. But they felt like they could replace him, or it wasn't worth having that contract on the books, but without all the other tangibles that they were looking for, leadership, whatever, to bother keeping him around. Um, when we think about it, you know, what we have now, Titus has moved into that leadership role. And there's clips of Titus, coaching, Ariante up, and Will Anderson coaching him up, and Daniil Hunter. What better way for this young man? What better way for this young man, this rookie tackle? He came in as a left tackle to learn, but to learn up against some of the best. Daniil Hunter, a solid veteran, a very well-respected veteran, and defensive player rookie of the year, Will Anderson, man. Just giving tips and telling it, man, they want to win. And this is what it's going to take to win. Stingley still Stingley. Got him a new contract. He's a stud. He's locked in. Stephon Diggs is gone. We already know that. He's gone. We we already know these things. Texans fans know these things. I'm just kind of summarizing the changes so we can get into the meat and potatoes of what's going on now. But, you got some people that tap in that don't know nothing, but they listening to me to get their news or whatever. But anyway, like I say, we got competition across the board, man, with these wide receivers. They got Justin Watson from the Chiefs. They got Braxton Berrios from the Dolphins. C.J. Gardner from the Eagles. They just won the Super Bowl. You got Cade Stover developing. Dalton Schultz has been looking like his first year self in practices and whatnot. And the tale has been that this defense has been dominating pretty much the offense early on in camp. But reports coming out saying that, hey, they've been the offense did their thing this last go round. The offense did what they had to do this last go round, and you know, this is what we need, guys. This is what we need. True competition. John Mechie, you know, who are we? This competition is rife. It's one. The wide receiver room is going to be some tough cuts. You know, it's going to be some tough cuts. On one hand, you know, somebody posed a question on Twitter on X, you know, and they were like, "You got Hutch, Justin Watson, Braxton Berrios, John Mechie, um, and it was one more, John Mechie, Braxton. And either way, you can only keep two of those guys." And my thought process was more or less like, you know, way I seen, well, from what I've been seeing from Braxton, and I understand he's an older guy in the league. I think he's been in the league about 7 years now, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But from what I'm understanding, you know, John, I know he had that situation with the cancer, and he's beaten the cancer, and you know, people want to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's been doing very well this camp. He had some great catches uh this last go round. Um, in his last preseason game, he made some big plays, some huge plays. He had one in the end zone that he dropped. He had a couple that hit his hands. One of them is kind of hard to judge him on that one, because I think that was Tavier Thomas that was covering him. Because y'all remember Tavier Thomas? I think he played with us back in 2023. Was his last year with us. He went over to the Vikings. So did Jonathan Grenard, went over to the Vikings. But John Mitchell's been looking good, man. They even have a clip of him, burning up Derek Stingley today, a couple times on one-on-ones. But one-on-ones is different from game time. So I'm just skeptical of John. If John is the Alabama John Mechie, then hey, we got a winner. But Hutchinson, I think Hutchinson is untouchable. He's developed the way a rookie, and now he's developed into, who he is now. He's a consistent guy, man. He's always Hutch has made some big plays for the team, man. It was Hutch who caught that pass from CJ when CJ dropped the ball against the Chargers in the playoffs. I think it was Hutch that he found scrambling wide open across, the middle of the field, and he hit him. So Hutch, I think Hutch is untouchable. You can't get rid of Hutch. I don't know, man. John may be putting out good tape for future teams, for trade value. I, you know, but hey, we loaded, man. Kalen Bullock been looking like a stud. Kalen Bullock been having a great camp, great preseason, man. Kamari Lassiter has been having a great camp, great This is unheard of what Texas have drafted. Win, guys. I'm gonna tell you who get the credit to. I'm going to give it to D'Amico, and I'm going to give it to Nick Caserio. I believe that D'Amico he knows football, he knows tenacity, he knows who has love for the game, he knows who is football to their core, and I believe that Nick Caserio and him together, Mr. Calculated Caserio, I think them two together, man, they just building a monster machine over here, man. And to get C.J. Gardner-Johnson to get back there with Kalen, a young man. Kalen, I'm telling you guys, man, I don't know why this guy's one of the more disrespected young rookies in the league. I don't understand why he doesn't get the recognition that he gets. That he doesn't get the recognition that some of these other young safeties get. But at the end of the day, it's all about forget the hype. Let's just go out there and show him, hey, if he's flying under the radar, which I doubt. I honestly doubt he's flying under the radar. I honestly doubt people are going to start game planning. They're going to be, hey, watch out for Bullock. Watch out for Lassiter. they downplaying it. But if you're a real coach, you're gonna know. You know football and you watch teams, and you're gonna know that young man's about something. Cam Robinson signed from the Jags. We had him to start at left tackle, and he got injured, and they had Ariante at right tackle, and they moved Titus in at right guard. But with Cam Robinson's injury, they put Ursary, the rookie, over, at his natural position, the one he played in college. They put him at left tackle this game. And man, the guy didn't, leave him at his natural position. Hey, it's a good problem to have. Just because you got a guy you brought in to take over that position, but you drafted a rookie, and the rookie was playing the other side of the fence. But then the veteran you brought in to play the rookie's natural position has failed, but the rookie steps right in and doesn't miss a beat. That's what you want. That's different from saying these guys look bad. These guys are getting blown up. These guys don't, fit the bill of, what we're looking for. We don't have that problem. And these guys ain't jacking around, man. I heard today that, because Blake Fisher, he's been getting throttled all camp. He got throttled in the preseason game. There was a play I saw where, Ursary was blocking on the left side, but Blake Fisher, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Blake was a second-round guy. I could be wrong. But Blake Fisher got blew up. You know what I mean? Like, a couple of times. But they're not messing around. So word coming out of camp now is that Blake wasn't even getting reps with the twos today, let alone the ones. They had a Connor McDermott, a veteran that played at New England and the Rams last year, I believe, before he got injured, if I'm not mistaken. They brought him. He was a 6th-round guy. They got him in there with running with the twos just that quick. So they're not locked in on team favorites, coaches' favorites, none of that. They want competition, and they mean business. They mean business. I love it. Texans tend to hold on to guys back from days past. They would hold on to guys, knowing the guy wasn't playing, but since they were Bill O'Brien's favorite or whatever, he'd give him chance after chance and try to develop, and it just wasn't working, man. I don't know, man. Davis Mills, hey, he's been looking good in camp, throughout camp. He's been having more positive reports than, let's be honest, guys, because this is RYL Texans Talk, and I'm finna say some controversial stuff. I'm trying to work on my cursing, guys, so that's, and that's a good thing, but he's trying, I'm finna say some controversial stuff. Davis Mills in camp had been looking better than your starting quarterback. I've seen it with my own eyes. I was at a couple of training camps. It was just taking time to develop this new offense is what we're chalking it up to, and it seemed to be that way. Because, if things are true that what we're hearing out of camp, CJ had a great day today, but it ain't been so great. All of the guys were getting tore up by the defense. The defense was just mashing on these guys all camp. So it was great and refreshing to hear some good positive news lately, the last couple of practices, to say that, hey, finally, these guys are catching on. The offense is catching on because the keys have been put in CJ's hands now. He's able to call his own, adjustments and audibles at the line. I like what's going on here. I feel like Nick Caley's very detailed, and you got to understand, and you got to realize, from my perspective, CJ and the offense was thrown to the wolves. D'Amico is not sparing anything with his team. And you got to understand, you want your defense to dominate your offense in practices. And then you want your offense, you want to start to hear that your offense is starting to catch on and they making adjustments and they're starting to develop, because we have, make no mistake about it, the Houston Texans have I'm gonna say this, and you can argue with your mama. The Houston Texans have the best defense we've ever had on paper and from common sense standpoint, and what the talent that we've had and the talent that we've brought in from all these young rookies, man. And then it's young. It's young. It's totally young. The team is totally young. You know, a young team, hungry team. That's what you want. It's scary. Y'all guys' hearts need to beat. It's scary. It ain't going to be those days of old. I'm telling you, mark my words. It's not going to be. These guys are building those raving people, scared of those type of people, defense, smash mouth 49ers. They building this over here, man. We have that now. We have so much talent now, so much competition now. It's crazy. Point. The depth is crazy. Quality depth. You know, quality depth. Not just somebody off the street. They getting hungry people that want to play, that's making it hard for them to make their decisions if they want to make cuts or whatever they doing. You know, it's getting there, guys. And I, for one, have been a lifelong fan, so I can feel and sense and see the change that's going on with this team. Derek Stingley over here. Kamari Lassiter is showing that you can trust him over there. You know, MJ Stewart, they have those for safety, and they just got a lot of Miles Bryant, you know, Russ Yeast. These guys, you know, are bringing in talent, man, and competition. That's what their thing is. We want top level competition. Nobody's job is safe. We're not babying anybody. If you're not doing your job, if you're not improving, we're trying to win, and it's nothing personal, but it's a business part, and we're in the business. D'Amico's in the business of winning football games, man. So if you're not performing, you're going to have to step to the side. You know, I mean, this wide receiver room is diabolical too. I'm just thinking about all the talent that we got, man. Hutchinson had some great catches in the preseason game. Braxton Berrios had some great catches. Justin Watson looked good. The running back room, oh my goodness. Who do you go with? Who's going to get cut? They got so much competition and quality competition, from J.J. Taylor to Darryl Goombawale, and he averaged 6 yards a carry in his last preseason game. He looked great. Nick Chubbs. Wow. This tells you that this team is serious, man. You got to get that. You know why? Guess why? You got your prolific quarterback on a rookie deal right now. You got your prolific, defensive end, outside linebacker. Will Anderson. That's got to get paid. And these guys got to get paid at the same time. So the window is now. You have to take advantage now, and they're building this roster from top to bottom, from left to right, from back to front to the center, the foundation. They filling this team up with quality players that love football. Don't forget, if he can stay out of trouble, I don't know what's going on with him, but safety, Jimmy Ward, a guy that, to me, plays with reckless abandonment. When he's on the field, he's dynamic, but him and Petrie, to me, have similar play styles. They crash outs. They trying to hurt something. When they're on the field, they're trying to hurt something. And, these guys, if he can stay out of trouble, I don't know what's going on with that case. I hope he can see the field and get this behind him. I don't know. but he has, he already had a leg injury that he was working his way back from as well anyway. So who knows how that plays out? But prayers up for that guy. We need him back soon because the depth with him, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Caleb Bullock, all these M.J. Stewart, Jalen Mills, and these guys are quality depth, man. But and again, the running back room, just quality competition. You got British Books, you got Jawar Jordan they drafted last year. You got Damian Pierce still here. Darrell Goombawale, the Swiss knife, he kicking field goals. He's got good catching hands. He's good in the backfield running that ball. They got Woody Marks, just drafted Woody Marks. I mean, hey, what are we what are these this is just a ton of competition, man. And you know, from my point of view, um, you know, Chubbs and having him here and he's supposedly to be relegated to the second spot. But if they real serious about competition, hey, if you're not better than this guy, we're not gonna put you there. We trying to win games right now. I have something to prove, and I'm not gonna let it all ride on by contract with you or your prestige or your recognition of your fan base or the legend of Nick Chubb, the guy that benches over 600 pounds, deadlifts over 600 pounds. You know, uh, I've been hearing, if the reports are true, that Damian Pierce has been looking better. Uh, and Darray been looking better than Nick Chubb's in practice. Hey, you know, much respect, but if we're trying to win, that's gonna be some tough cuts there, man. Um, they got a couple of quarterbacks they brought in. Keaton Slovis, I want to guess his name is, and Graham Mertz, drafted last year, I believe in the 6th round. And hey, they let's just hope that nothing. We keeping our fingers crossed that we don't have to go that route. Um, Preseason game, Graham Mertz threw 3 interceptions. One of them wasn't his fault, but he threw 3 interceptions for that day, and it is what it is, man. He's learning. He's a rookie, but let's put him out there again and see what he got, because you got to make the right choices. Hey, you ain't and I tweeted out about some. See, I don't know if you guys caught this the day of that game. I'm not sure if you guys had caught this, but you know when he threw 3 picks, I want to say it was after the third one. If they could show the whole original broadcast, go back and watch when C.J. Stroud sits down next to Graham Mertz to try to, encourage him and hey man, this is what you need to do. Just relax. You'll get him next time. Whatever was said. Who knows? But Graham kind of, I'm a reader of body language, and I get it. I get it. The guy was aggravated or whatever, but other people would have made something out of this had I believe if it had been another way around. But the guy kind of was just dismissive. If you read body language, kind of almost didn't see him do this, but I almost wanted to be like, man, it was kind of like an eye roll, like, man, I don't want to hear what you got to say type of situation. And I don't like that. I may be tripping, but go back and watch that preseason game. And if they got the full video, watch how CJ sits down next to Graham Mertz towards the end of the game after I think his 3rd interception. And I get it. You frustrated. You don't want to hear what nobody got to say, but then that's not the right attitude. It's your first preseason game. We understand that you were, in your town, the top quarterback in high school and yada, yada. But you wasn't even a top quarterback in college. They see something in you, I guess, that they can develop, but develop for what? Maybe to prepare to take over Davis Mills, succeed, because Davis Mills can be starting on a lot of teams. Now Davis Mills could bring the Saints up. Davis Mills can play for the Saints, man, and elevate the Saints. You know, he could play for, the Colts and elevate the Colts. You know, Davis Mills could quite, naturally be traded for a quality pick and help a team win a division or whatever. That's what I personally believe. He's a vet, and he's a smart guy. He's won us a couple of games. And so, again, running back through it, the running backs is just competition from the wide receivers, the running backs. They not pussyfooting around with the offensive linemen. You're not doing what you're doing, you're getting out of here. You're getting out of here, man. What you guys think, man? Just let me know. Put it in the comments, man. Let me know what you guys think about the competition here, the direction of the team. Do you guys feel like we made the right decisions trading Laramie Tunsil? Do you guys feel like, you know, that we're going to be a top 5 defense this year? I certainly think so. But preseason game rolled through here this past Saturday, so we finally got us some football. See these guys again in pads against some competition. You know, they lost to the Vikes 20 to 10 to 20. Texans lost 20 to 10. But the early, I'm gonna blame the last little bit. The third to the end of the third to the fourth all the way, it didn't really count to me because that was just Graham Mertz gave the game away, because at that point it was 10 to 13 when he took over, and he just gave the game away, making rookie mistakes, selling balls. I don't know if he was trying to hit Mechie or Watson or what. Justin Watson. It's two of them he sold. One of them was tipped at the line. But hey, that's just part of what happens. He just looked terrible, but he looked terrible. Let's not sugarcoat. The kid looked terrible. But again, he's a rookie. You should be allowed to make mistakes. To me, Caden Slovis looked it better than that. That ain't saying much. But he ain't turned the ball over. He almost did one. He almost did one, but he almost threw, one, but it didn't go through. We got these. I don't know if the Minnesota was being disrespectful or what, but the commentator, man, what's his name? It's I think I want to say it's Pete Bursick, one of the color commentators for the Vikings. He had something to say about preparing for the Texans when it comes to the game, and I want you guys to hear this and tell me what you think, man. Was this some disrespect to the Houston Texans?
Quarter. And Paul, you don't do a lot of practicing to play the Texans. You don't do a lot of cards. You don't do a lot of game planning. But with Kevin O'Connell, you're seeing, Ben, you alluded to it, they haven't seen a 4-man front that jets up the field like they have. So we've been running what? The screen. We've seen more screens already in the first half of this football game than I think we've seen in camp.
So my thing is, what does he mean by you don't game plan for the Texans? Somebody point me out, help me understand what this guy means by you don't game plan for the Texans. Is he saying that, you don't know what you're gonna get coming out of there, or you don't have to worry about those guys, just go out there and do your thing? Because they did throttle us last year. So I'm just understanding what he's saying. Did he say that they didn't game plans for us last year? They just beat us? I don't understand it. But hey, we I don't we don't play him this year, but I will see him again, man. Hey, and if they make it to the bowl, when we see them in the bowl, we'll put that belt to ass. Excuse my language. But I just wanted to, kind of get an opinion. You guys put in the chat, what do you think this guy meant by that? Because Pete Bursick, um, I don't know, man. These guys, they just homers, and if you listen to that broadcast, you can kind of tell those guys were some homers anyway. So I don't know. One thing that I want to touch on quickly before we get out of here, because is a couple of things. C.J. Gardner-Johnson was injured in practice, and the internet went nuts saying that it was an ACL. You had the people talking about, oh, that's the curse of the Swifties, and some he must have said about Taylor Swift or whatever if they beat the Chiefs last year in the Super Bowl. The guy is dynamic and a leader and a playmaker, man. And by the grace of the goodness of the Lord, this guy has not torn his knee or his ACL or whatever. He, hey, it seems like he'll be back here soon. Maybe week 2 or 3. Or they say week 1, possibly return, but let's be realistic. I don't see that happening. I see maybe more of a week 2 or 3, because D'Amico likes to rest his guys. If we're going to be honest, D'Amico likes to rest his guys. So I don't see him coming back week 1. But it's like his injury is like a 4 to 7 week injury. He'll rehabilitation, whatever it is, like a strained, ligament or whatever. But he'll be back. But injury of the week. And it's so heartbreaking for us Texas fans who know what this guy has been through. And he's a great guy, high energy guy, always positive guy in his interviews and whatever is, willing to take time to sign for the fans and things like that. But it's your boy, Brevin Jordan, man. You know, Placed on injured reserve. You know, had a play where they say that he went up for a play with CJ in practice, and he suffered some type of major knee injury. In his lower leg. He landed awkwardly. And he yelled out, "No, not again." And the players, the media, the coaches were visibly upset, as they should be, because you got to think, this guy was injured early in the season last year, didn't play games last year, missed everything, missed the games last season. And to go out there today in his rehab, that we all understand, and I think that we understand, you know, what he had to go through to get back to this point to where he is now. And there was something made about how CJ was singled out, and shame on the media members who was pushing this stuff too, about how CJ was visibly upset, shaken, had to be consoled, and yada yada yada. And my thing is that CJ is a leader of men. He's a 23-year-old. He's well respected by his locker room, by his teammates. And, there is no cookie cutter way. I've said this, I tweeted this out earlier. It's no cookie cutter way for greatness. People try to dehumanize these players now, man. And they're saying that he was, because there are some local radio hosts and things on sports radios and in the media and stuff was tweeting about, hey, it's a bad look, you got Drew Brees that doesn't do this or whatever. This is a bad look. Like, hey, this guy's buddy. We're talking about practice. We're talking about a guy that's one of his best friends, and he's seen his rehab and the process he had to go through to get back the way he was, and then all of a sudden, before the season even started, you injured us, and it's the same leg, like he re-injured his injury that he had originally, and there's a couple of things that come with that as well. He may not get signed again because of what he just suffered. It's over. Like, this is a business. It's nothing personal. But the best ability when it comes to things like football and sports and things of that nature is availability. So it's only a matter of time for, I believe, the true reports will come out. But yeah, man, tough break, man. We praying for you, Brev, man. You know, it was tough, man. I know for that guy to go through. Excuse me. For that guy to go through. But it's the nature of football, man. And I get it. Hey, they like, oh, this football, you supposed to be, used to it. Man, they say that after that injury happened, the offense went out there and balled. They didn't shake up CJ. It didn't shake up the offense. He went out there and balled. So, we got to get off of that machoism, high stuff. Yeah, they all men. They all solid. They all, in a rough sport, a gladiator sport. But a 23-year-old kid, because if I sat there and my brother or a relative, a close friend, we on the same team, and I know what happened where he was hurt the year before, and I'm glad he's still in the team, and he stayed on the team. He worked his butt off. He grinded to get back to where he could be his old self again, and all of a sudden he renders himself before he even takes a snap. That's hard, man. That's hard. So all these people that are making excuses and saying, "Oh man, he got to be tougher than that. He a man." And man, listen, man. That's what's wrong with the world now. No empathy, no sympathy. It's all entertainment for you people. News type. Like, people don't got, these are real people that have real families and real emotions as well. I'd be sad too. They didn't say the guy was boo-hooing and breaking down and whatnot. The guy was just sad, upset. One of his great friends got injured after he didn't rehab himself back and just re-injured. That's tough. And for the ones that, saying otherwise, man, just have a heart and leave that little topic alone. I wouldn't even commented on that topic. I want to show you guys something. I want to show you guys a clip from one of the media members, Big Sarge, man. He spent it correctly, man, and he gonna go more in depth than I could. He's gonna go more in depth than I could. So, I'm gonna kick this off so you guys can check this out and see what the people with common sense. This is how it should look when you got common sense, guys. This is exactly how it should look. I'm gonna run that back for y'all.
In West Virginia is one thing, but it's the way that Brevin left the field that caused the emotional meter and tension to go higher. Like, it affected the entire bubble. Like, there wasn't a person inside of that bubble that I know of that wasn't emotional for just a little bit. Even if they didn't stay emotional, like, you have got to be, Reverend Brooks, please pray for me when I say this, but you got to be one cold-hearted son of a bitch not to be emotional about what happened. Pray for me, y'all. I'm really trying to stop.
Yeah, we're gonna pray for you at Big Sarge Sports. That's with a Z on Twitter, man. Y'all go follow that guy, man. He's a great Texas media insider, man, that has a pulse of the team. I've personally personally seen the guy. He's well connected with the owners and things like that, so he knows what he's talking about. And I believe that's to be true. You know, you'd have to be a cold-hearted SOB to you know have this guy get injured and his friends. And it wasn't, and if you heard him, it wasn't just CJ. It was everybody, the media, the players. Players didn't want to do post practice interviews. Yesterday after the injury, because you know this thing is serious and it affects you, man. Yes, you're making millions of dollars, but you're putting your life on the line. If you don't believe that, ask. I don't know if you guys know, and I'm pretty sure I brought this up once before, and I hate to bring this up, but our very own cornerback, man, Derek Stingley, man, his grandfather was Darryl Stingley, was hit so viciously by Jack Tatum, the assassin, years ago, and was paralyzed after that, and ended up eventually he passed on, man. So this is a gladiator's sport. We just had a guy in the Lions preseason game. Lions and who did they play? The Lions and the Chargers, I want to say. No. The Lions and somebody. But either way, the point I'm making is, I think the Lions and the Falcons or something. The point I'm making is that guy got injured, man. Neck injuries. He was shaking on the field. Brutal. You have people, you keep playing. The game must go on. Oh, they canceled that. You got to have some common sense out here, man. Some people don't care. They just want their fantasy leagues to pop. Their bets to pop. They could care less about the soul in that body on the field. This Real Texans Talk, man. We're going to keep it solid here. We're going to keep it real here. And like I say, big things are coming. We will be doing live games. We will be, having giveaways and prizes and things of that nature. Again, just stay tapped in. Follow me on Twitter at Blastoff_ENT. That's on X. On IG at Blastoff_entertainment. And on YouTube, man, at BlastoffENTCO. Follow, man. It's on the screen. Follow. But hey, guys, thank you again, man, for tapping in. It's the new season. Every week we come in with some new content. I will be uploading, footage and videos, and we're going to have a good time, man, this season. Season 2, the Real Texans Talk is kicked off, man. You guys, let's get this thing going. Tap in with your boy. I am your host, Darryl Blastoff. You have been checking your boy out on the Real Texans Talk. Until next time, baby.